My stroke patient grabbed my arm and told me, "That's not my daughter." I had just started my shift and was assigned to a patient named Dorothy who had suffered a stroke 4 days ago. She couldn't speak, but she could write, and her daughter Christine had been at her bedside the entire time. I walked into the room to introduce myself and immediately noticed Dorothy was agitated. Her hand was gripping a notepad and her eyes were wide and desperate. She scrawled something on the notepad and held it up. "That's not my daughter." I looked at Christine, who was sitting in the chair by the window. She sighed and gave me a sad smile. "She's been doing this since the stroke." The neurologist said it's common with her type of brain injury. Confusion, paranoia. Sometimes patients don't even recognize their own family members. I nodded, but something about the way Dorothy was looking at me made my stomach turn. "I need to run some tests. Family usually waits in the hall." Christine shook her head. "She gets extremely anxious when I leave. Last time I stepped out, she had a panic attack and her blood pressure spiked. The doctor said I should stay close." I checked Dorothy's chart while Christine talked. She had been present for every single interaction since admission, every test and every meal and every shift change. She had never left the room. "Can I get you some coffee from the cafeteria? I'll stay with her." "That's so sweet, but I brought a thermos." "Thank you, though." Dorothy grabbed my arm hard. Her fingers were digging into my skin. She wrote on the notepad again, "Help me." And then underneath it, she wrote, "She's lying." Christine saw the notepad and her eyes filled with tears. "Mom, it's me. It's Christine. I know you're confused right now, but I'm your daughter. I love you so much and I'm not going anywhere." I watched Dorothy's face and she looked terrified. But stroke patients do get confused and sometimes fail to recognize family. I needed more information. "Christine, can you tell me a little about your mom's history? It helps me provide better care." "Of course. She grew up in Minnesota, moved to California when she married my dad. He passed away 12 years ago. She taught piano for 30 years. And your childhood? Any memories that might help ground her if she gets confused?" Christine smiled. "She used to make me pancakes shaped like Mickey Mouse every Sunday. We'd watch old movies together on Friday nights." She pulled out her phone and showed me photos. A younger Dorothy with a little girl on her lap at birthday parties and graduations. It all looked real. Maybe the patient really was just confused. Maybe I was being paranoid, but I had to try one more time. "Hospital policy requires family to step out during bed baths. I need to clean her up before the night doctor does rounds." Christine hesitated. Her eyes flicked to Dorothy and then back to me. "How long will it take?" "About 15 minutes. I'll be right outside the door." The second she stepped out, Dorothy started writing frantically. Her hand was shaking so badly I could barely read it. "My real daughter died 8 years ago. Breast cancer. This woman showed up at my house 3 weeks ago. She has all my documents, my license, my social security card. No one believes me." My blood went cold. I kept my voice calm. "Dorothy, can you prove this? Can you tell me something about your real daughter that this woman wouldn't know?" She wrote, "Christine's middle name was June. Her birthday was March 3rd, 1979. She's buried at Oakdale Cemetery in plot 247. The door opened. Christine stepped back in. "Everything okay in here? I heard you two talking." I forced a smile. "Everything's fine. Just finishing up." I walked out of the room on steady legs even though my heart was pounding. I called the hospital and asked security to pull records on Christine. Then I called Oakdale Cemetery. "I need to verify if someone is buried in plot 247. One moment, please." I waited. My hands were sweating. "Yes, that plot belongs to Christine June Miller. Date of death was March 15th, 2017. That was 8 years ago, just like Dorothy said. The woman in that room was not her daughter." I walked back and stood in the doorway. "Christine, there's some insurance paperwork that needs your signature at the front desk." She looked up. "What kind of paperwork?" "Routine forms for extended care coverage. They need your signature in person." "Can it wait until she's discharged?" "Unfortunately, no. If we don't get it signed today, her coverage lapses and you'll be responsible for the full cost of her stay." She glanced at Dorothy and then at me. "Fine, but I'll be right back, Mom." She walked toward the nurse's station and I watched her turn the corner. Security was waiting. I heard her scream and then scuffling and then silence. An officer appeared at the end of the hall and gave me a thumbs up. It turned out she had done this 3 times before. She targeted elderly stroke patients who couldn't speak, used stolen documents to get power of attorney, and drained their accounts while they were too incapacitated to stop her. Christine got 12 years. The other victims testified, and so did I. Dorothy's money was gone, but the hospital started a fund, and strangers donated over $600,000 in 2 weeks. She wrote me a note on the day she was discharged. It said, "Thank you for believing me."